Good afternoon, everybody. Second presentation I'm doing today is on using Playsport resources. I just did a presentation, which I'll share with everybody, on how to use the OFIA website and some of their stay-at-home resources that they've just put out. And part of those resources that I presented earlier were Playsport. Playsport is a website that I highly recommend to teachers. Um, I'll put that website up for you. So here it is right here. And so it's basically at playsport.net. You don't have to log into OFI or anything to use this website, and it is highly useful for teachers. Um, if you don't know my title, I am the Physical Literacy Instructional Coach for the Ottawa Carleton District School Board. And so I promote what's called physical literacy. And what I try to promote is learning movement skills through uh, through playing games rather than just playing sports. So this website is excellent for that. It has a number of games that will teach movement skills that could benefit students so they'll learn skills that they can actually apply to many sports later on if they want to try those sports. So this site is great. If you take a look, I have, if you want to do when you get to the site, you could take a look at an activity search. Now, one thing I want to point out is this website is in English and in French, so it's a bilingual website. You can navigate it in either language. So if you do an activity search, here it is. So this is wonderful. So you can take a look. You can actually take a look at all the activities on the Playsport website. You can actually sort by division. I don't usually get hung up too much on the divisions. There's a lot of activities that I find, like even primary games that the older kids like. Sometimes I find a junior that the primaries like. So I really take a look at the sports at the games to make sure um, if it's going to be appropriate or not. So it might say that it's at a higher level, and you might think, hey, that might work if I do some modifications at a younger level as well, and vice versa. Younger games might work very well at older levels. Um, what we're actually trying to do is we're trying to teach units now as a part using families of games rather than having sport units like a soccer unit or a hockey unit or a basketball unit. Those are all actually territory activities. So we could have like a territory games unit a couple of times during the year where we teach territory games, and the kids learn movement skills and strategies that they can actually apply to those territory sports later. So you can actually sort. So the different types of units you could have are territory units, net wall units, striking fielding units, target units, and individual pursuits. So like individual pursuits are like your gymnastics or your track and field type of sports. So if I wanted to sort by territory, I could do that. I could actually take a look at, if I wanted to take a look at age levels, let's take a look at some of the junior territory games we could have. Do a bit of a search, and there you go. We've got a different number of different games that you can actually try. Some of them actually are neat because they have ties to our Indigenous people to learn Indigenous concepts. Some have cross-curricular connections to numeracy, literacy, social studies. So take a look through them because they might actually help you in other programs as well. So something I like is Triangle in One. So if you take a look, we can open that. That might interest you. It's kind of a common game that we've probably done in physical education before. And it basically gives a activity overview. Basically, you can take a look at what types of things you're going to need. I chose this game because it's a smaller group. You can actually do it with, it says triangle in one, but you can do it with a group of 3. So maybe parents are home, they want to try this with their child, they could do it. Or if there's a brother and sister involved, it is a lower number game. Anyways, so basically take a look, and then you have a diagram often. Some of these diagrams are often animated too, just to show you how the game works. Okay, they have different adaptations and everything you can use. They talk about the different movement skills and concepts that the children will be learning about. Yeah, all sorts of cool things. And if you want to as well, you can actually download a poster of the game as well, see it all in one. It's kind of cool. So they give the assessment strategies, so on. So it is a wonderful website to use. Now, if you're still kind of hung up on doing the sport units, well, let's say I want to do a basketball unit still, and I could click on basketball here. And what it does, you can actually teach a basketball unit using teaching games for understanding, the technique that this website uses. And you can go down and take a look at all the games that you could actually apply to basketball and use basketball maybe as a culminating activity at the end if you still would like to teach with sports. I encourage everybody to try and teach with families of games rather than sports, but I understand that some people still like to go the sports route. So that's another option for you as well, is basically searching by sport and finding all the games that you could use to apply. What we're finding is that teaching movement skill strategy through games is much more engaging to all students. It brings everybody in at the same entry point, and we get much more participation. So that is kind of like this is very quick overview of Playsport. I do encourage you to contact me if you had any questions about the activity. You can contact me at my email address is mark.hooper@ocdsb.ca. I'm also putting out resources on a daily basis on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is at hoopfizlit. Yeah, so check that out on a daily basis as well. You can actually take a look, and I'm putting out activities on a daily basis. I have put out things related to all different types of physical literacy resources. So I have covered Playsport before on Twitter, but there's a number of different resources. Some of them will be presenting over the next 2 days as well. So I do encourage you to take a look at some of these resources. And feel free to ask me any questions about any of them. Anyways, so that's basically my presentation on using Playsport. I hope it's useful to you. It is one of my favorite sites for teachers, and I hope you can take advantage of it. Again, please feel free to contact me, and please take a look at my Twitter feed for updates on activities on a daily basis. Stay healthy and safe, everybody. I look forward to talking with you again with one of my other Google Hangouts.